Hello everybody, this is Big Spider, and today I am doing a very different tier list. Today I am going to be talking about Fire Emblem Cipher, MCs, and how well they do in performance. I'm going to be going over yellow MCs only, and since this tier list excludes Cipher OCs, unfortunately, I am unable to actually do those, but we're going to be going over all of these characters as MCs and how well they perform overall. So I'm going to be there's going to be several pauses. I do not know all the Cipher cards and their effects by heart, so it's going to take a little bit of work, but hopefully we can do this well. Alright, let's get started. I think it's very easy to understand. Celif is an easy S tier. He's probably one of the best yellow MCs that there are. In fact, I can look it up right now. I believe... I need to verify this. Give me a moment. I am not certain. Yellow MCs are, but Celif is very good. Prince of Granville has Hero Emblem, which is very good. Heir to the Blood of Light gives extra attack if you have 2 or more yellow units. Granvillian Scion of Light gives them extra just from having other allies, which is always good. Fate Emblem's also an Heir to the Blood of Light. It's 3-2. Is very helpful when there's several other allies on the field. Pledge of Friendship is a bit less helpful, unfortunately, but but Fated Pairings and Meetings is very helpful for like units that have like Larcy, for example. He's a Celif 3-2 can be very good on decks that rely on crits to survive, so you can get more Larcys back on the field. 4-3, it is about moving units in the back line, and Sigurd just helping them out. Sigurd 0-0, very helpful on Celif. Savior of Light 5-4 is about flipping bonds back up, which again very helpful, especially on other decks that rely on flipping bonds face down, like Zephyl. He can be very helpful there. And Holy King of Divine Bloodlines is basically a win button if there are no orbs on for your opponent. So what you can do is you can put the other 5-4 in their bond, flip others back up, and as long as there are 5 up, you can win the game. There are 0 orbs on your enemy side. Celif is a very good card. Just in general, most main characters from the games are very good MCs in Cipher overall. Another card that's really good from what I've seen is Julia. Imperial Princess of Granville. It's basically just flipping out bonds. The Aries to the Will of Light is also very similar, except a bit better. And you can do it once per turn, so just Heir to the Will of Light overall is better. Holy Blood Emblem is also alright, but very limited. Tragic Princess is not going to be an MC, so not very helpful overall. 4-3 though. 4-3 is really good. It basically gives you free bonds, pretty much, and just flips out bonds overall. And 5-4 is very good. It basically allows you to flip 2 bonds face down, remove any 3 bonds, and face up or face down, and you can get bonds from your retreat area well, you can bring them to your retreat area. You can get the top 3 cards of your deck and put those in the bond area. So you're switching out bonds, no matter if they're flipped down or flipped up. So if you have like a Larcy paired up with Julia 5/4, very good. And even as an MC, you get buffs from Darkness Searing Dragonlight, which, when combined with Ode to the Crusaders, can allow her to get effective 90 base attack for her turn. Which is really, really good. I honestly cannot recommend Julia enough. I think she's an S tier as well. Alright, the next one I have on my list is Madeir. And Madeir 1 is not that great. He's a 2, not only is he 2 range, but his 3/2 isn't even that great. Though, he can get an effective 70 attack and go move between the lines as he wishes. His biggest flaw, though, is being 2 range, and his cost 1 relying on Adane in order to actually do anything. So, Madeir is, he's not that great. Or Madeir is like, I'm gonna call him Madeir. As a normal card though, this isn't just as MCs. I'm going to basically them off as MCs. I will be rating them as MCs though, so. As a normal card, Madeir's alright. His biggest flaw though is, being locked to 2 range, and having a 2 range MC is always a really bad idea. I mean, what you can do is deploy an Adine and another unit in the front line, preferably one that's stronger. You can move Madeir to the back, where you can be safe, especially because most MCs are 1 range anyways. With few exceptions, like Julia is 1/2. She's a very good MC. But that's really the only thing you can really do with him. And 3/2. Sure, it does give him buffs, but you're gonna have to wait till 2 bonds in order for him to be any use. And even then, if there's no units in the front line, you're gonna have force march, and force marches are not fun. Madeir is a D tier. I think the only reason E is this high, he could be like E tier, but honestly, his 3/2 is alright, which is not amazing. Next up, we have Adine, and alright, she is a healer, so she's a terrible MC right off the get-go, because I don't think there's any real reason to really deploy her. And here's the thing, Radiant Saint Adine, it's basically a worse Julia in every single way. But Tragedy Defying Saint is all about support. Same with Lady of Jungbi. Lady of Jungbi boosts Zell, Madeir, and Junk, and this can be helpful. However, she just fails as an MC. Tragedy Defying Saint, you can use Ward, and Ward can be very helpful, but it doesn't exactly do everything for you, especially because most decks are going to be relying on only a few cards in general. So there's no real reason for Adine to really use Ward. And the fact that her cost 1 does nothing, and just the fact that she's meant to be support, she's meant to be a support healer, she's not meant to be an MC. Just because of that, she gets E tier. Adine is a terrible MC, and should not be used as such. She's fine as support, especially Tragedy Defying Saint. That's one of my favorite cards to use in a yellow deck, because Ward just can be so helpful against certain decks, like OG Marth, like the Marth where just gains more strength with more enemies. Same with Tavarn. Adine's very helpful in that case. Alright, next we have Jump. Jump suffers from the exact same problem as Madeir. His cost 1 is not great either. It doesn't even have the whole gimmick of moving around, following Gadeen, like Madeir does. And his basically unevasion button against units with 4 or lower deployment only be activated with bonds, by flipping bonds. And this is early game jump, and in early game bonds are very important. So that already is a failure. 4-3 Patriotic Marksman though is alright. His bond skill, where if he's put in a bond, it's alright. It's nothing too bad. It's definitely helpful on other decks where trying to avoid evasions when possible is helpful. Courageous Rebel Bow. It's really bad. It's all about defeating flyers, and most decks aren't going to deploy flyers. Most flyers are used for support. Jump just falls flat overall. He's worse than Madeir E tier. Next up, we have Erin, or Erinus is how we call her, but we're going to go with Erin today. Alright. Sellers in Pegasus Knight is Wing Deliver, nothing special. Same with Wings and Surgical Master. 30 base attack is not great, and having weakness to anti-flyers is also not great, and just overall, just fails. Erin is mostly support anyways. That 30 support is very helpful. But 3-2, basically, it's like basically leading flyers. So if you're gonna have Erin, you need to add more flyers. So units like Fee will be nice, Kareen, Misha, any flyers really. You can buff some of them. Even 4-3, it's also a bond. That's also like a bond replacement, but it fails to do what Julia does, flipping up cards. Same as Sol. But you can deploy bonds, which is great. That's nice. Always cool. But honestly, not great. I mean, the fact that Erin is weak to anti-flyers, and the fact that most decks should have at least one archer to counter these flyers. Like Zephyl decks have, they don't really have archers because they're just focused on giving Zephyl more strength. That's probably the biggest problem. Having 1-2 range or 2 range is always good. I'm gonna give Erin C tier, just because, actually no, D tier. Being flyer is pretty bad in this game. Especially as an MC, because you want to avoid the anti-flyers, and anti-flyers basically guarantees that an orb is gonna be taken, because all archers have 30 or greater attack. Alright, Tail 2. Cost 1, Tail 2. Trifling Lightning Strike, Noble Hoyden, Tail 2, is basically a bulky magic emblem. Lady of Freege, nothing special either. Gives you the option of flipping down bonds to get some extra strength, which is not bad by any means, but not great either. But her 3-2, Wrath is alright. It's pretty, however, this is something more for endgame. You should, unless you get like a huge beating in the first few phases, you shouldn't have 2 or less orbs within by the time you have 2 bonds. No, I can't take much more of this. It's decent, I guess, but nothing great. It's nothing especially good. It's another magic emblem. And 4-3 is an amazing card. But it's not really MC worthy. My favorite thing to do with this Tail 2 is to couple it with Ishtar decks, which basically means that with Tail 2 critical hits, you have several Tail 2s left, which you can use for evasions as well. And this is all about pro. And when critical destroys an enemy, draw 2 cards. 4-3 Tail 2 makes up for the mediocrity of the other Tail 2s, because this Tail 2 is honestly really good. I really like this Tail 2 a lot, and overall she's pretty good. 1-2 range, it's fine, quite fine. Having 60 base attack is honestly kind of meh, but better than nothing, of course. I think Tail 2 deserves B tier. Having a lot of evasions is always helpful. Next up, Ulster. Probably one of my favorite cards in the game. Alright. Ulster, Son of a Sword Princess. Memories of Mother. Very helpful. Center of Saint of Swords is basically not that great. That depends on Larcy to really get anything done, which is not good. But Astral Earth Runner. 3-2 for Ulster. One of my favorite cards in the game. Here's why. Alright, so I like running a Shannon MC. Shannon MC is really good. I'll talk about him when we get down to it. But Twin Star Strike is amazing. Here's why. So Shannon 4-3 allows you to give a sword ally 40 extra attack. And Ulster 3-2 has base 60. Twin Star Strike, it's only usable when you have over 100 attack. This means that Ulster can flip a bond down when given this extra 40 and destroy 2 orbs in 1 strike. That is amazing. And Soul of Astra also allows him to get to that as well, so you wouldn't even need a Shannon. I love 3-2 Ulster, and it is probably one of my favorite cards in the series. It's amazing. Now, this is more so like a Shannon MC. If you're running an Ulster MC, you can also bring along Shannon 4-3 to help you out as well, which is great. 4-3 though. Swordmanship from the Saint of Swords Lab. That is very helpful. It basically means, yeah, yeah, you're not dodging. So if you get hit, you're screwed. That is awesome. And pair that with Shannon as well. It may not destroy an orb, but I mean, okay, I actually lied. This isn't that great. It's non-main character enemies. It's always non-main character enemies, so you can always evade. That is not that great, and something that an archer can do, which is a problem. For Child Breaking Twin Astra, pretty bad actually. Nothing really good, unfortunately. 4-3 Ulster. Worse than 3-2 Ulster by a long shot. So 3-2 Ulster is everything, and it is an incredible card if played correctly. I'm going to put him in B tier with Tail 2. I love Ulster. He's an amazing card. Especially when paired with like Shannon, like I said. Or just having a lot of Ulsters in your deck. There are 4 Ulster cards, which means you can have 16 Ulsters in your deck if you play your cards right. Meaning if you have 50 deck, and you only deploy one main unit and then promote him, and all your Ulsters are in your deck, then that's 14 Ulsters you could get, which means it's just really good. I love Ulster. He's a great card. Larcy, alright. I'm going to talk about Larcy 4-3 God's Matching Astra. Amazing card, and really good for any type of critical deck. So, decks like Shannon's or Merida. Larcy is going to be very helpful with that. 4-3, but that's mostly just for bondage. True Critical Astra. It's like once per turn. Shannon does not have that. But let's talk about cost 1. Saint of Swords. Nothing great. It's just it's very similar to ulsters, where she relies on ulster in order to do anything. Alright. Daughter of a Sword Princess. Each time an enemy is deployed until the end of the turn, the unit gains 10 attack. This is very helpful against decks that deploy a lot of units. Otherwise, it is useless. It's an alright start, especially because you have Larcy 3-2. This allows you to stock up on like Larcy cards, so like if your unit's attack destroys an enemy, any enemy, not just MC, any enemy, you can send one sword card from your hand to the retreat area and get a Larcy for that. And guess what? If Larcy's your MC, you're going to want as many Larcys in your hand as possible, so you can evade. This also includes any card that's just above it, so you can get a Larcy 4-3. Speaking of, Astral Heaven's Dancer. It's literally the exact same as Ulster. However, Polar Aspect is worse than Ulster. You flip 2 bonds face down to untap. And if Ulster is destroying an enemy, if he destroys your enemy's MC, and they don't evade, that's 2 orbs down. If Larcy if the enemy evades Larcy, if the enemy doesn't evade Larcy, you're basically wasting a bond. So, there is no point in this 4-3 at Larcy. It's worse than Ulster. In God's Matching Astra, I've talked about the critical hits, untapping thing once per turn, and just being only good for the bond skill. Larcy is worse than Ulster in every single way. C2. This is just as MC though. Overall, Larcy's 4-3 God's Matching Astra would make her A tier. However, we're talking about MCs here, so we cannot do that. Next up, Aries. My favorite. Alright. Aries has 3 cost ones. The Black Garb Knight or the Demon Sword, which, when a sword card is placed in your bond area, gain 20 attack. That is a better version of Merida cost 1, which is great. Another one, if you have one or more bond cards with the same unit name as your MC, this unit gains 10 attack. This is overall less helpful, because why would you deploy a bond card of your MC unless that card is deliberately meant for bondage? Young Black Knight is flip 1 sword bond till the end of the turn, gain 10 attack. Black Garb Knight, your best bet. However, it's a better version of Merida's, except it's once per turn. 2-2 Reinhardt in the making. Very good. It is very good. If you have 3 or more yellow bond cards, the number of orbs the unit attacks destroys becomes 2. So Reinhardt is a bond card, and you choose up to 1 beast ally, which can be helpful for cavalry decks that gains 10 plus 20 attack. Very nice. I like Reinhardt in the making because it destroys 2 orbs. And this is guaranteed to have 3 or more yellow bond cards. That is busted. That is a really, really good continue skill. So really, all you need is like a critical, and you're basically guaranteed to hit 2 orbs, unless they evade. It is very helpful. Successor to Demon Sword. When Aries card is placed in your bond area, you can choose 1 card from your hand and place it in bonds. That's fine. If you have 8 or more bond cards, Aries and any Eldigans gain 30 attack. That's also okay. However, here's the thing. Bloodthirsty Sword. Why would you put Aries in your bond area? Why would you, if Aries is your MC, why would you put it in the bond area? There's no reason to. Unless you want to, like, double your bonds fast. And here's the thing. This is a 4-3 promotion. Normally at this point in the game, you don't need any more bonds. It's like a point where after 5 bonds or so, you don't need any more bond cards. Unless you're deliberately flipping them, like with Zephyl, if you want to have as many bonds as possible. There is no reason to use this card over 3-2 as an MC, because that just is overall better. Alright, what about Nostalgic Blast? Same thing as another one. 1 or more bond cards, same unit name as your MC, 20 attack, but just continue. But here's what makes this amazing. This is basically an improvement of 3-2 in every single way. If you have 3 or more face-up bond cards, it doesn't matter what color they are. The number of orbs that the unit's attack will destroy becomes 2. This 4-3 is better than 3-2 in every way. It doesn't matter what color it is. Though Aries will typically be used in yellow specific decks. 4-3 is amazing. I love Aries 4-3. And it has a bond skill as well. When the card is placed in your bond area, there are fewer cards in your hand, choose up to 1 enemy in the back line. Use them up. You won't typically be using this, it's not very helpful, but just Miasma Mistletoe is really good. I'm going to put him in A tier for now. Scroll up a bit. Alright, next up we have Daisy, and this is already becoming very long, but thankfully this one only has 2 cards. Innocent Trespasser. No, it's a Treasure. Alright, reveal the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, and if both of them have a deployment cost of 3 or higher, you draw 1 card. This is not good, and here's why. There are very few decks where you'll be seeing cards with 3 or higher deployments in, like, overall. A lot of decks that are in top tier, like, for example, the main Zephyl Deck, which is a deck I know very well. I have studied it a lot to see what, like, its weaknesses and such are. My favorites, like, being Takes the Selfies. If you know Cipher, you probably know who Zephyl is. But those decks mostly have cost 1 units. So unless you get lucky, you're never going to be using this. And here's the thing, you have to tap the unit for this. So there is no reason for you to use this skill. It is awful. And she has 30 base stack. Alright, what about 3-2? Reveal the top 3 cards. You draw 1 card per revealed card, then one will cost 3 and higher. It's slightly better, however, you have to flip 2 bonds face down for this. This is an awful skill. Never use it. Daisy sucks. F tier. Like, in general. You will never use Daisy. Daisy sucks. She's a really bad card. Next up is Sigurd. And Sigurd has a lot of cards, so you're gonna have to bear with me here. Alright, I'm gonna talk about Sigurd 0-0 for a moment. Because I have mentioned it, but I have not gone into much detail. This card is for Sella. Alright. So he cannot be put on top of the Sigurd, so he's useless in the Sigurd deck. I'm not going to hold this against him. Basically, you can choose another ally, and that ally gains 10 attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. And at the end of turn, it goes to the retreat area. And now if you have Nilla and Seliph, you draw a card. The Sigurd is very helpful in Seliph decks, overall. Now, let's talk about the main Seliph. Or Sigurd, my bad. There are 2 Sigurd 1 costs. It's the Prince of Chalfie, which is mostly for Bondage and Fate Emblem. Fate Emblem is very good. It's one of the best support skills behind probably Dragonkin. I think everyone can agree Dragonkin is amazing. Noble with a Knight's Heart. His Cunt skill is helpful. The unit stacking your opponent's main character, gain 10 attack. Tandem Emblem's not that great though. Noble with a Knight's Heart is probably a thing you should be using as MC. It's helpful. Alright, he has 2 3-2s, and I'm going to go over the bow. Paladin, alright, let's start with Hero Granville. During your turn, this unit gains plus 10 attack for each of your bond cards with a bond skill. This is alright if you're using a lot of bond cards with bond skills in general. Just in general. Alright. Paladin of Granville. This is an amazing bond skill card. And it works very well with Hero of Granville. Alright. You flip the card face down, choose one allied Sigurd or Seliph. Until the end of the turn, that unit gains 50 attack. This is an incredible card, and it is very helpful in Seliph decks. And even in Sigurd decks. 50 attack should be enough to pretty much hit about anything, really. Alright, now, 4-3. He has way too many of these. Heir to the Holy Blood. During your turn, and if you have one or more Sigurd bond cards, all of your frontline allies gain +10 attack. And this one also gets +10 attack if you're in the same area as an ally to your direct. Alright, this is alright. This is nothing special. It just gives attack. It's pretty good. 70 attack, great. Nightborn of Light's Blood. You flip a card down, bond card down, and you get 20 attack. And if you use the Silver Sword in this turn, you choose a Sigurd from your retreat area and place it in the bond area. Alright, this is very helpful with 3-2 Hero or Paladin and Granville. Remember, this card can give you 50 attack. 50 attack for free. It's really good. Alright, Adoring Holy Knight. Flip 2 bonds face down, choose an enemy moveset. This is an awful skill and should never be used, just in general. And when the attack destroys an enemy, it's a free bond. Alright, nothing too bad. The first skill is really awful. It's shit, but nothing amazing. Alright, what about Neath Noble Ideals? It's an ally stacking your opponent's main character, that ally gains +10 attack. This is fine. I'm pretty sure this includes +10 attack, but I don't think it does. I don't think it includes Sigurd here. So this is like support. And you can flip a bond face down, choose a face-up bond card, and display it. It's only usable if you have 6 of the bonds. Alright, this is a very situational skill. It works. Nothing great though. Alright, so that's 5-4. There's one 5-4 Sigurd card, Warrior of Light's Heir. You flip a bond face down, and when an ally critical hits, you can choose a card name from a retreat area with the same unit name as that ally and place it in the bond area. This can be very good with, like, Larcy, for example, where you can put Larcy's in the bond area, and you can flip them down for more critical hits. But here's another thing. If you have 8 or more bond cards, this unit gains 10 free attack, and the number of orbs this unit attacks will become 2. This Sigurd is very good. I would not say he's better than Celis though, for this one reason. He requires 8 or more bond cards in order to become like a powerhouse. Sigurd's more in general just a card that's there for support overall to your deck. So like you can get a 4-3 Sigurd to help out another main character, like Celis, for example. You can also get this one also for Celis. In like Larcy, especially. I like this Darkness Illuminating Warrior. Honestly, Sigurd is just a deck that's overrated in my opinion. I'm going to put him in A tier, behind Aries. Sigurd, I'm not extremely knowledgeable in Cipher, but I have not seen a Sigurd deck be particularly amazing. Alright, next up, we have Deirdre, and Deirdre suffers from a similar problem to Sigurd. She is mostly support. Princess of the Spirit Forest. Holy Blood Emblem, that's all she's really good for. What about Maiden in Spirit Forest? Basically, choose a card in your retreat area, put it in your bound area, and flip it, switch it out. Switch it out, my bad. That is interesting. And it can work. It can really help with, like, for example, Sigurd. That one Sigurd bond card to help out in Celis decks. I see a lot of Sigurds and Julias in Celis decks, and there is a good reason for this. However, she already struggles as an MC. Here's why. She has 30 attack. 30 base attack at cost 1. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. She doesn't even have anything that can really help her out. I think the Priestess Spirit Forest really only you get 10 attack for tomes. Drink of Love and Fate. Draw a card, choose a card from your hand. It's just free magic. And here's where support kicks in. 5 or more bond cards. Main character gains 10 attack. Very nice. Tragic Fate. aura, you get flip a card bond down, you get 20 attack. And you can add a bond card to your hand. Yeah, that's probably the exact opposite of what you want to do. Sometimes that can be very helpful, but, like, for example, getting an MC card out of there, but you should never be displaying an MC in your bond anyways. So there's no point. And Deirdre lacks a 5/4, but she has 2 4/3s. You can flip the bond face down and place it in your bond area. It's a free bond. That's perfectly fine. And you can also destroy all non-main character Dragonstone enemies if you tap the unit. This can be very helpful, especially against certain decks like Tiki. Tiki is a very annoying just enemy. No matter what Tiki it is, but my least favorite is the blue Tiki. It's the blue 4-cost Tiki. That's helpful. But Maiden and Destiny, you can choose one of your face down bonds up and flip it face up. This is very helpful. And all non-main character Dragonstone units, no matter what, no matter whose it is, cannot be untapped. So Deirdre, not helpful with dragons. Alright. Deirdre is support. I think everybody knows this. Deirdre is pure support. She is not helpful at all as an MC. C tier. Actually, D tier. She comes down here D tier. She has 1-2 range, I guess, which can be helpful. But Deirdre is all support. Alright, Azel, or Azel. I like calling him Azel. Azel. Lordling of Veltomer is probably one of his best outings. He's got a bond. He's got bond skill. Lordling of Veltomer, which is literally just a free magic emblem. It's not amazing. Young Flame of House of Veltomer is basically can be buffed with Lex. And Azel, my favorite thing to do with him is just have him tag along with Lex and Lex decks in order to help him out. I love Azel. I really do. But he's already not doing so great. 1-2 range is great and all, but yeah, it's a problem. Shining Flame of Kindness is basically you can move the unit, and then at the end of the unit's attack, you can move them. So you can basically move them to the front line, attack someone to the back line, and move them back to the back line. It's really decent. But my favorite is Major Falar's Blood. His own life, his own way. It's a free magic emblem. This is alright. But my favorite is its taunt skill, Blood of the War Mage. If you have 6 or more bond cards, you gain 20 attack. This means that Azel's in it for the long game. Because, honestly, 6 bonds isn't too hard to get if you use, like, say, Deirdre, I guess. But, yeah. Azel, he's okay, but his biggest flaw is having 50 attack. At 3-2. No matter which one you use, Azel's not a great MC. He gets C tier. But, probably one of my favorite yellows, and I have said this a lot, I love yellow cards. Bear with me. Is Lex. Lordling of Dozel is completely useless, but it doesn't matter because Knight of Near's Blood does the exact same thing as Lordling of Dozel. Alright. His cost 1. If you have an allied Azel, you get 10 attack. So, you know what I was saying about pairing Azel with Lex? Yeah, this is exactly why. You get 10 extra attack. And having 40 base attack is nothing special. 1 range? Alright, that's great. Awesome. Knight of Near's Blood, 3-2. You can flip a bond face down, and you get 20 extra attack. With 60 base attack, that's 80. And the con skill, 6 or more bond cards, 23 attack. Lex is... he's not amazing, and yeah, he struggles against certain enemies. Like Zephyl, for example, but Lex can hold his own. He's a surprisingly good MC. I'm going to put him in B tier. I think what you need for a Lex deck to work is and Azel. That's literally it. Alright. Here's another one card with a lot of cards, and I know there was a leaf unveiled today, but I don't know what it does yet. I have to wait for translation. So this is probably going to be immediately outdated, but whatever. Heir to Leon's Relief. Each time a card is placed in your bond area, you gain 10 attack. And there's Fate Emblem too, so that's great. What about Light of Leonster? If you have an allied Celis, you gain 10 attack. And you have Hope Emblem. Hope Emblem's not that great. Light of Leonster, alright, I guess. About Princess Lance Knight. You flip a bond face down and you move an ally from the back line. Wonderful, terrible card. No. It's pretty bad. His 3-2. Well, he has 2. Sage Roll in the Making. You flip a bond face down and you get 1-2 range. Alright, this is fine. If you have an allied Celis for Aries, you get 10 attack. This is not bad. This is a pretty decent card right there. Victory dedicated to his father though. Flip the bond face down, tap another yellow ally. You can get a free bond, and if you have 5 or more bond cards, you gain 10 attack. This is a fine card. I don't think it's anything special. It's pretty good. I think 3-2, you get straight to 60 from 40. Pretty great, actually. Alright, now 4-3, Prince of 2 Sacred Bloodlines. You can choose a card from your hand, reveal it, and place it face down in the bond area. And all allies get 10 attack. Alright, this is great. And all yellow bond cards get the bond skill. Flip it face down, choose a name on main character enemy, and move them. Alright, this is that's pretty good. Having, basically, being able to move an enemy at will, that's pretty great, I think. About Leader Leonster's army. Flip 2 bonds face down. 1-2 range. It is Sage Lord in the Making, except worse. No, this is pretty bad. But if you destroy an enemy and you use Prince's Light Brand, you can flip up 3 bond cards. So that kind of makes up for it. But you're banking on being able to destroy an enemy, which you can do, but you have to worry about evades. Because if you do, that's 2 cards face down. What about, alright, and it's 5-4. Alright. Once per turn, you can send 1 leaf from your hand and choose a yellow card from your retreat area and deploy it for every 4 bonds. This is not as good as you'd think it would be, because getting more than 4 bonds, getting more than 8 bonds, and even worse, getting to 12 bonds, almost impossible. Cipher games don't typically last very long, and if they do, it reaches the point where it's just a stalemate and you're trying to get as many evades as you can. Cipher games are meant to be short, so this 5-4 does not do that very well. But if you have 6 or more bond cards, the number of units this attack, the number of orbs this attack will destroy becomes 2. Alright, this is fine. This is great. It's alright. And there's a bond skill. Choose up to 1 non-leaf card from your hand, place it in your bond area, and add the card back to your name. So basically, you can place that down, get a free bond, and get this card back. Which can be very helpful, especially if we're getting to the 6 bonds you need in order to get Dead Light. Leaf has some good cards and some bad cards. But those good cards outweigh the bad cards because you can use them and not use, well, the bad cards. Alright, Leaf, you get A tier, man. Like, you're high A tier. You're near S tier, but high A tier. Aries and you do very similar jobs. Alright, Altena. Altena, she is a flyer, which is already a problem for an MC. She has 2 cost points. Princess of Thracia. When this card is deployed, and you do not have an Altena or Leaf bond, tap the unit. I am not 100% certain as to what this does. I have not used Altena as an MU yet, but that's a problem. Or Ever has a bond skill. Guard placed in the bond area, you can flip a bond card down and move an ally. Not great. That's especially not great for an MC. Princess of Thracia has better got a better attack, but being forced to get tapped when you don't have an Altena or Elite Bond, that's a problem. That's not that great. And remember, she's a flyer, so she's weak to anti-flyers, and it's only good for her support skill. However, 3-2. You can flip the bomb face down, move all of her allies to the back line. This would be fine if forced marches didn't exist. Altena wishing for a warless world. Alright, this is really, really good. You can flip an Altena bomb face down and get 40 attack until your opponent's next turn. This is very helpful. You can send a bond to retreat area, deploy, choose up to 3 non-main character enemies with a deployment cost of 2 or lower, and destroy them. This is actually a really good card. However, it doesn't really work as an MC. Sure, it's helpful, but getting 4-3 takes time, and during that time, you can get just slaughtered. Especially with our archers. What about the other 4-3? One or more Altena bond cards, you gain 10 attack. If you have one or more Quan bonds, you get plus 10 attack. And when you place an Altena or F1 to your bond area, you can take down bond card back up. Alright, the other 4-3, much better. My biggest problem with this, you have to deal with all the problems with Altena until you can get to 4-3. After that, she is amazing. But I would rather have Altena as a support card. Not only for that 30 support, but just if you can get better and doesn't have to worry about anti-flyers, which can take out your orbs. I'd rather have Altena with, like, I don't know, a Quan deck or something like that, than just her by herself. Honestly, Altena's pretty good, but she has flaws. I think she goes in C-tier. Alright, we have to quicken our pace here. We're going really slow. Quan, alright. He has 2 cost 1s. Prince of Leon's there. When an ally is attacked by an enemy in the backline, then that ally gains 40 attack. This is honestly busted. Makes, like, archers pretty much easy. Then the other one is when lance cards placed in your bond area, so at the end of the turn, this gains 20 attack. Not as good, but it's more trying to keep yourself alive and doing more damage than the other one, which is defensive and all support. What about 3-2? Once per turn, you can flip the bond face down and choose to make beasts as you wish to use them, which is fine. When this unit is deployed by skill's effect, then this unit gains 20 attack. Which, alright. A 70 attack at 3-2. That is just too good to pass up on. That's powerful. That is really good. So, and getting to 2 bonds shouldn't be too hard anyways, especially if you get first turn. And getting first turn with Quan makes him a lot better. Alright, what about 4-3? There are 3 4-3s. Alright, Knight of Nova. Flip 2 bonds face down, 10 attack rate, and 1-2 range. Alright, this is a problem because you can't flip bonds back up with Quan. So you have to have another ally who can do this for you. Not cool. And another one is just getting an ally in the front line out of there when you destroy an enemy. What about Luminous Lancer? At start of the turn, if you have 1 or more Quan bonds, you can choose one non-main character enemy in the backline and use them. Alright. And you can flip 1 lance bond face down and destroy a non-main character dragon enemy. Alright. This honestly is not too bad. But it is situational. Sure, most decks are going to have dragons for Dragonkin Emblem, but not all decks are going to deploy these dragons. I certainly do not. Unless it's, like, meant to be deployed, like, cost 4 Tiki. This can be very helpful, but it's situational, and that's the problem. And the last one, during your turn, all beast allies gain +10 attack. This is great. This can be very helpful. And when students attack destroys an enemy, you have 6 or more bond cards. You choose a non-main character enemy and destroy them. Alright, this is good. This is a very good card. It's a very good skill. It's about having 6 or more cards. It's not as good as Leaf, unfortunately. Not as good as Leaf, but it is still very good. A tier for Quan. Actually, yeah. The 3-2 is really, really good for Quan. I would definitely recommend trying it out next time you can. Quan certainly can be a fun MC. Alright, Ethlyn. Alright, we already know the biggest problem, and that's the fact that she's a staff unit at cost 1. Her cost 1s are all about heal. But you can, for Spirited Princess, you can flip a bond face down and get 10 attack and range 1. No. She has 20 base strength. This is a huge problem. Even at 3-2, she only gains 1 range. She gets strength, yes, but not good. That's not good. When you class change into this, you can flip bond face down, get 10 attack and 1 healing. That's kind of a problem. But you can't, but when you destroy an enemy, you can flip a face down bond card, flip it back up. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Just the fact that she starts off so bad it's not going to be forgivable unless this is an absolutely amazing card. You can flip the bond face down, and then you get 10 attack for the next turn. And if you have 6 or more bond cards, all yellow allies cannot be destroyed as cost or effective skills. This can be a double-edged sword. And you'll notice, Quan, Leaf, and Ethlyn are all about getting 6 bond cards. That takes time. And the problem with Ethlyn is that she starts off so horribly as an MC that getting to 6 bond cards may not even be possible. Remember, 1 cost Ethlyn has either 20 or 30 attack, depending on which one you choose. Ethlyn sucks as an MC. I'm going to put her in D tier only because if you manage to survive, it can be alright. Ethlyn, not that great. I'm sorry Ethlyn fans, but you knew from the start that as a staff unit, he's going to be terrible as an MC. And now we have Carlot, who has the exact same problem, except it's even worse. Alright, sure, little courage. Front line, gains 10 attack. Alright, that's 30 base. But what about his promotion? 3-2, 50. You flip 3 bonds face down, choose 1 non-Carlot attack card. Non-attack, I'm sorry. Add to your hand, and that unit gains 20 attack. And there's Berserk. When the enemy is deployed in the back line, you remove that enemy. Alright. Here's the problem. Carlot. He is... he's a staff unit! He can't... And you know, like what I said about 3-2. You choose 1 non-Carlot card from your hand. And that card gets 20 attack. Yeah, Carlot's stuck at 50. That's not good. And being a staff unit, he kind of is a problem. Flipping 3 bonds is also a problem. Carlot is support, and he's not even that good at being support. I'm sorry, Carlot. You get E tier. Next up, Ida. Alright, I love Ida, but her problem is that she is a flyer. Choose 1 non-main character bow enemy, opponent cost of 1, and destroy them, with flipping a bond face down. This is fine. I'm completely cool with that skill. It is an easy way to counter anti-flyers. However, there are a lot of bow units with 2 or higher deployment costs, my favorite being Ronin. You can also flip bond face down once you get 3-2 and gain 23 attack. And you can move a unit. You can move it. Alright, this is fine. I honestly don't have... This is probably one of the flyer cards that are passable. As an MC. Honestly, I don't have many problems with Ida, but She falls flat. She's not that great. D tier. Honestly, Ida's fine, but there are much better MCs you could use instead. Alright, we have another staff unit. Alright, let's get this over with. Alright, Lenone. I misspelled her name in CipherVit. Oops. Lenone. Alright, cost 1. You know the exact same problem. And the only way that she can actually attack is if you have 3 or more bond cards and cost 1. She doesn't even gain any strength. She's stuck at 20 base. Holy Blood Emblem's alright, but not good enough. Alright, what about 3-2? 50. Flip 2 bond face down. You get a magic emblem and a free card. Alright. And if you have 6 or more bond cards, you can choose 1 face down bond card and flip it back up. Yes, Lenone. Let's talk about this. Alright, Lenone. You are a terrible MC. I don't think we need to explain this at all. Because unlike some other units, like Efflin, you can flip a card face down, gain some attack to get from your pitiful 20. Lenone costs 3, it takes 3 bonds. 3 turns! In order to get her to even have a chance of attacking, and she's stuck at 20. Yeah, I put her worse than Daisy, and Daisy sucks. She is an awful card, but Lenone is a terrible MC. At least it's a Dane. She could possibly get help from like an Azel. You can deploy an Azel with Lenone. You can deploy a Jump, you can deploy a Madeir, any one of them, from cost 1, and they can get some buffs that can help Dane actually survive. Lenone has none of that crap. None of that shit. She is awful. She's an awful unit, and overall, honestly, you want a good guard, you want a good staff bot in general, get a Dane. Get like a Dane, get Efflin, get anybody but Lenone. Lenone sucks. Alright, Travant. He's very interesting. When Near's deployed, choose a face-up bond card and face it down. This is not a problem, because he'd be your MC. But what is a problem is the fact that he's a flyer. And it takes until 5-4 to actually, promote, so it's gonna take a while. And even then, he has 60 base attack. But if he's attacking on main character enemy in 5-4, gains 30 attack. This is fine. I'm completely fine with this. If you flip the bond face down, allies are Grit Flyer and Dragon, so Wyverns can attack regardless of range. Alright, this is this is cool. This is honestly an interesting idea. And you can send a bond to your retreat area, and your opponent chooses 5 cards in their hand, and send the rest to the retreat area. This is very situational, but if you're fighting enemies that really like hoarding their cards, this is the perfect anti-turtle method. Travant is a really fun card, but he struggles as an MC because he takes forever to get to promotion, and he's everything that's a problem with a flyer. But he's probably one of the better ones. I'm gonna put him in C tier behind Basil. I have not done a Travant deck yet, but if I ever do, it's going to be really fun. Alright, next up, Reinhardt. Alright, cost 1. Tap unit, flip 2 bonds face down, and you can destroy an enemy. Cost of 1 that's not main character, and draw a card. This is not a good skill. I don't think anyone needs to explain this. This 4-3 though is a bit better. Then a card from your hand to a retreat area. Each time this unit attacks, destroys a non-main character enemy, you can untap. Alright, this is great. And if the unit's untapped, then you gain 20 extra attack. Better in general. Flip 2 bonds face down. This unit has 100 or higher attack, draw 2 cards. Alright, this isn't too bad. But, I mean, you have to bank on your enemy deploying non-main character enemies that are weak enough for Reinhardt to destroy. There are a few decks that are like this, but there aren't actually that many. Reinhardt's okay. Nothing more than okay. Yes, we have a new music in the background. Alright, Reinhardt's okay. I don't think it's much more. C tier. I think he goes behind Trevant though. Because Trevant he has better skills. Eldigan. Alright. Eldigan. Let's see here. Oh, he has a lot of cards. This is gonna be a while. Alright. He has 2 cost 1s. Prince and Nordian. Send a card from your hand to the retreat area, and you get 20 attack. This is fine. This is actually a pretty decent skill. But the other one, if you have one or more Eldigan bonds, you get 10 attack. Or 20 attack. Yeah, I'd rather have Prince and Nordian. Here's my reasoning why. More Eldigans in your hand equals more evades. More evades equals a higher chance of winning, and having a higher chance of winning is good. I think that's just basic math. 3-2, Young King and Nordian. This is a bond skill. You choose a bond card and add it to your hand. Flip it down. Not amazing. Situational. It's alright. His other 3-2, if you have 3 or more face-up bond cards, you get 10 attack. This is fine. Also has another bond. You send a card from your hand to the retreat area, and when it's placed down, you can choose an Eldigan from your retreat area and add to your hand. This is fine if you basically weren't giving up a card from your hand for an Eldigan. Alright, I guess this could help out, like, if there's an Eldigan in your bonds, boom, yeah, there's that. That can help with the other cost 1 Eldigan, the future Lord of Nordian. This is fine. Not a bad idea. But, honestly, it falls flat in practice. It's not that great. Alright, 4-3. Demon Sword Lord Martyred for... I can't read this. Alright. Send a face-up bond card to the retreat area, and flip a card bond face down. Choose a card with the same name as the main character, place it in your bond area. This card's obviously not meant for Eldigan as your MC. And when yellow card's placed in the bond area, this unit gets 20 attack. Alright, that's better. So, Eldigan, you'll probably be using yellows in, well, a yellow deck. Mostly pure yellows. Sometimes I see, like, combined colors, which is not a problem, but having all of one color just is more consistent in general. There's also Lionheart. You flip the bond face down, choose an Eldigan from your hand and place it in the bond area. Not great. But, if you have one or more Eldigans in your bond area, enemies in the backline cannot crit. This is also situational, because, honestly, criticals from non-main character enemies are very rare from what I've seen. So, yeah, it falls flat. But he has a 5-4. Alright, what's the 5-4 do? At the end of your bond phase, before you begin your deployment phase, you can have a second bond phase. Alright, I've seen this with Sanaki, and as we all know, Sanaki is one of the most busted MCs in Cipher. Eldigan does the same, except you just have a bond phase instead of another start phase. So essentially, it's a Sanaki, but worse. Which is completely fine. Honestly, having a slightly worse Sanaki is not a problem considering how powerful Sanaki is. Eldigan is already pretty good. If you have one more Eldigan bond cards, gain 10 attack. As you can see, Eldigan is about having an Eldigan bond card. And yeah, you have plenty of Eldigans to actually get away with this. If you have 2 or more Eldigan bond cards, you choose one of your yellow beast bond cards and play it. This is also very situational. As you can see, bonding Eldigans is probably the key to Eldigan's success, and here lies the problem. Alright, yes, you have plenty of Eldigans. However, evades are everything. You want to have evades, because if you're caught in a corner, you're caught with no orbs. If one hit can mean your demise. If an enemy would normally kill you, you need to have evades. Because evades are something that cannot be circumvented. Especially with Eldigans or MC. But Eldigan's all about losing evades in order to get more powerful. Nor, if you play very well, this shouldn't be a problem. But most players don't play very well because of luck or something like that. And if you're caught in a corner like that, Eldigan just becomes not good because you have fewer evades to be your get out of jail free cards. Eldigan gets featured. Definitely a high B, but he's not as good as his friends, Sigurd and Quan. Alright, let's talk about Eldigan's sister, Lachesis. Yes, she has 2 cost ones, and here's the good thing. Lachesis does not count as a healer. Hurrah! We actually have a good one. Yeah, don't listen to heroes about Lachesis. She can heal, but she is not a main healer. Alright. Brother Pining Lady, of course. Of course! If the unit's in the same area as Eldigan, choose an Eldigan from the retreat area and add it to your hand. Already, you can see, Arya can see something. Lachesis is about improving Eldigan. And I might have to make Eldigan better just because of Lachesis. Her other one cost isn't that great though. It's 3 or more beast allies, all beasts get 10 attack. Nothing amazing. For 3-2, little sister of Reinhardt, you flip bond face down, get 1-2 range. Alright? And defeat an enemy with the Earth Sword, get plus 1 attack. Alright, that's fine. You have 1 or more bond cards, the same unit name as your main character. This unit, Lachesis, gets 10 attack. Flip a bond face down, and the unit cannot be destroyed by a concept like the skill. Lachesis is about buffing Eldigan, and just because of that, I think I'm gonna put Eldigan in A tier. Because Lachesis is the key to improving Eldigan, which is completely fine. And her 4-3. For each of your bond guards with the same unit name as your main character, this Lachesis gets 10 attack. That's helpful. 3 or more face-up bond cards, you get 1-2 range. And if this card is placed in the bond area, if you have 3 or fewer cards in your hand, draw a card. Alright, that's fine. Alright. Here's what's not fine. Lachesis is MC. I don't think I need to explain this very much, because Lachesis is very obviously just buffing Eldigan. There's not really any point of having Lachesis as an MC when all she does is improve Eldigan as an MC. Or just improving an MC in general. I think high G tier is good for her. I mean, she'd be fine as an MC herself. She can hold her own, but she's better off, and Eldigan is better off, if she's working for Eldigan. That's why I raised Eldigan in the tier list, as you can see. Oh, crap, we have so many more. I've been at this for like an hour now at this point. Alright, Beowulf! I misspelled his name. Great, yay. I love when that happens. Alright. We're gonna talk about his cost one. If you have 6 or more cards in your hand, this unit gains plus 10 attack. Alright, yeah. This is fine. Giving him basically base 50. Basically giving him base 50 on the first turn. Alright, sweet, that's fine. Alright. Honestly, just Beowulf at start, it's fine. He's fine. Nothing too bad. You usually have... You draw 6 cards, if I recall correctly. So, nothing too bad. Alright, it's 4-3. Here's the problem. 3 bonds face down. Gain plus 10 attack. And then if the units use this, you flip 2 more bonds face down and untap it again. And then flip another bond face down, and if you use that, untap again. Alright, here's the problem. It requires 6 bonds in order to get there. Alright, 6 bonds to untap this unit 3 times. Yes, it's very powerful. Yes, it is good. But the bond cost, it's a problem. And the fact that yellow has no dragons that have Dragonkin emblem makes it even worse. If you pair Beowulf with, say, a purple deck, this might be better. But Beowulf, even with just 70 attack, it's not good. Just having the force flip 6 bonds down. Okay, yeah, you can do that if you get to that point. But you have to get to that point. You have to get to that point. That's the problem. C tier. Alright. Wifey is next. Alright, cost 1. Choose one of your yellow ally, and the ally gets 10 attack. But you have to tap it. And then you can also choose another ally and move them by also tapping. You also have Tactical Emblem, and you can move another enemy's unit. Alright, Wifey. Cost 1. Obviously, he is support. Very nice. But that changes. He can't even attack. That changes once you get to 3-2, where he's very powerful. But he's just like other Jakens, he can't be placed in the bond area. How unfortunate. What about 4-3? A yellow card placed in the bond area, you can choose an ally and move them. Alright, that's fine. And if you have 8 or more bond cards, this unit, and Sigurd of Sala, gains 10 attack. Alright. Here's what's fun. Cost 1 Oifi. Promoting them to 3-2 Oifi. 70 attack. That's 73 attack. Well, not 73, but 73. Alright. Normally, I cannot forgive when, like, you know Lenone with her 20 base attack? Yeah, you know her? You know how I hate her as an MC? I can forgive Oifi for this reason, because 3-2 gives 70 attack for 3. And honestly, he doesn't have anything special. He's not like top 3 tier material, but he's very good. I think C tier is good for him. Sure, he can't attack on like the first turn, and he's very squishy until you get to 2 bonds. But honestly, shouldn't be too big of a problem, should it? Alright. I forgot Pete's substitute name. I'm stupid. Hold on just a moment. Hermina. Okay. Hermina. That's apparently not her name. Great. God damn it. Okay. Give me just a moment. Alright. Femina. There, thank you. Thanks, that's much helpful. Femina. Okay, thanks, Serenus Force. Alright, Femina. This is why I don't listen to the Fire Emblem Wiki. Yes, alright. Her biggest flaw. She's flying. And she has 30 base. Which is worse than Ida already. Alright, she has Wing Deliver at base 1. 3-2. Kanto. And when skill effect moves this unit, choose another ally, and that ally gets 10 attack. This is fine. However, here's the thing. She's not that great as an MC. She's more support than anything. D tier, behind Aaron. Honestly, alright, Linda. Liberator's Lightning. You can flip a Tome Bond, and this unit gains 20 attack. Alright, that's okay. So it's obvious that she's starting off to be meant to be a Tome Deck maker. Tome Deck MC. This is fine. This is completely cool. I don't think there's much of a problem with this. What about 3-2? Exact same thing. Flip a bond face down, 20 extra attack. Alright, that's cool. But our bond skill, it's a problem. When facing the pond area, flip 3 face down, you can draw 2 cards. Yeah, this isn't a very fair trade. Alright, drawing 2 cards is great, no. But you shouldn't be forced to flip 3 bonds face down for this. Alright. D tier. I can't scroll very higher, I'm sorry. Yeah, a good chunk of these cards, you know that have cards. Sylvia, Claude, I know Lester, Lean, Asalo, like a bunch of Thracia units. Well, not a bunch, like Halvin, Avil, Ronin, that's about it, really. They have cards, but they don't have one base, so I can't be counting them in this. This is about MC performance overall, anyways. I misspelled Ishtar like an idiot. Alright, Ishtar. Cost 1. Your opponent has one more face-down bond cards, gain 10 attack. Okay, let me talk about Ishtar a bit. Ishtar is my favorite anti-Zephyl MC. Here's why. Because she profits off of face-down bond cards for her enemy. So, having like a 5/4 Zephyl, it's hilarious to just watch as they flip a bond down and I'm strong now. Alright, what about 3/2? Flip a bond face down, and you can flip the face down bond card. You can flip a bond card down on your enemy. And if your opponent has 2 more face down bonds, you gain 10 attack. Alright, that's cool. 4/3. Send Ishtar from your hand to retreat area. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's bond cards, and you can flip them down. And for each bond card that your opponent has down, you gain 10 attack. That's the funniest part. Because, again, Ishtar profits off of face-down bond cards, which is why she's a great anti-Zephyl MC. And once per turn, you can flip a bond face down. If all of your opponent's bond cards are face down, you can draw a card. Alright, this is very situational, but it's alright. Ishtar's she's good, and she really profits off of anti-Zephyl, which is probably the only time you should be really using her all that much against enemy MCs that break your unit's bond cards, really. I'm going to put her in B tier, behind Tail 2. She's a really, really good just anti-Zephyl, and I think just being able to destroy the Mad Kulin just makes her good overall. Alright, Nana. We're getting to the final stretch. This could be like the last card that has like a huge amount of cards. Well, aside from like, I don't know, Harvest. Alright, cost 1. She has the exact same problem as Lana. She starts at 20 with no attack. However, if you have a Leaf or Fin bond card, you gain plus 10 attack and a sword. That's great. 3/2. Alright, boom, now we have 60 and free 1. You can put the bond face down, choose the card from your hand, and put it in your bond area face down. Alright, 3 bonds. Great. Even if it's flipped down. Something that like Solith or Julia or something fixed. If you have a Leaf or Fin bond card, you gain 10 extra attack. That's cool. I honestly think that's very hopeful. 4/3. If you choose up 2 bond cards with the same name as your main character and add them to your hand. Alright, this is where Nana becomes more support than anything. And when this unit stacks your present enemy, until the end of your opponent's next turn, this unit gains plus 10 attack and cannot be destroyed by skills. Okay. For 3 Nana, it shows that she's now support. What about 5/4? Put 2 bonds face down, and place 2 more bonds face down your bond area. 3 bonds! And Nana, you can see that Nana is meant to support Leaf into getting even more powerful. I think that brings him to S tier. And 6 more bond cards! Hey, guess what? It's the Magic 6! Gain 1/2 range. And when a card placed in the bond area, you can add a bond to your hand. Alright, that's not really that great. Alright, Nana. She's not a good MC. I'm just gonna say that. She's about support. I think C tier is good for her. I think behind Travis. Fine. I'll bring her down to D tier. I think that's where she belongs. Alright, I need to do another screen. Holy crap. Alright. I lied, because Finn is next. Alright, Finn has 2 cost 1s. Knight in Training. This one Alright, if this unit's being supported by Quan, Ethelyn, or Leaf, gain plus 10 attack. This is not a very good card. But Knight of Leon's turn. Alright, you send a card in your hand to the defeat area, and to the end of your opponent's next turn, this Finn gets 20 attack. And that's basically effective 60. Alright, this is already off to a good start. Knight of Leon's Finn. Pretty good, I would say. Nothing too particularly horrible, that's for sure. It's 3-2. Devoted blue lands. Mostly for bonds, really. Flip this card face down and choose up to 2 Lance allies, and those allies gain plus 20 attack. This is support. This is pure support. That's it. Just pure support. But it is, and of course, if the card supporting this unit's Lance, that unit gains plus 10 attack. Honestly, 3-2 Finn is not that bad. So that's 60. That's 60 base attack without having to send a card to the retreat area, which is pretty good. What about legendary blue hero? Alright, once per turn. When an enemy cannot be destroyed by the unit's attack, untap the unit. Alright, that's alright. Pretty cool. Once per turn, you can flip a Lance Bond and choose to play non-main character enemies in the backline and move them. Alright. Brave Lance is probably 5-4 Finn's claim to fame. And that's 70 attack. Finn is definitely an alright. He's middle of the road. I think C tier is good for him. That's like, he's like average. He doesn't have anything really special going for him. He's average. He's just average. Alright. Ocean. Alright, I'm going to talk about Ocean a bit. He's probably become my new favorite NC for yellow. Let me explain why. Cost 1, he has 30 base, but on your turn, he gets 50 base. Alright, yeah, that's the thing all axe players share. They are much better on your turn. Fighter's expertise can be very helpful. Alright, but it's 4-3 is what really matters. You can send axe cards from your hand to the retreat area with a 1-2 range, and the unit's attacks cannot be evaded by non-main character enemies. Alright, that's Voosh, and that's not really his main claim to fame. I mean, sure, it's alright. It's nothing too special. But here's what's the best. If you have an allied Tanya, the number of orbs that Ocean can destroy becomes 2. With 70 base attack. Honestly, getting this very early, getting 2 orbs destroyed very early, is what makes Ocean a great NC. And sure, you have to get Tanyas on the field. You have to get a Tanya. But here's what my favorite thing to do is. Alright. Get a bond down, deploy a Tanya. Alright? Get another bond down. And then, if like Tanya's destroyed, deploy another Tanya. On the next turn, promote Ocean. If Tanya's alive, you can use your Con skill. B tier. I'm not going to go ahead and say that he's better than Ulster. Actually, yeah, I am. Ocean's better than Ulster. I'm not going to say he's better than like these guys though. But he's very good. Probably one of the most underrated NCs I have ever seen. Alright, next. Tanya, my favorite. I love Tanya. She's cool. Alright. 30 base attack. If you have an allied Ocean, gain plus 10. Alright, that's cool. That's a con skill, no matter what. So, if she's in Ocean Deck as support, she gets 40. However, we're talking about NCs. What about her 403? Units in the front line, gain 10 attack. Alright. If you have an allied Ocean, you cannot be evaded by non-main characters and anti-flyers. Alright. Tanya's not as good as Ocean. I'm sorry. The fact that she's locked at 2 range kinda causes problems. And just having Ocean, her skill from that, what she gains is not as good as Ocean. Tanya's all about support. And for that, she gets B tier. She's not that great of an MC. I'm sorry. Alright. Sappy. I think we can already tell exactly what her problems are going to be. Yeah, obviously, she starts off with nothing. Heal. Okay. Yeah, she's very obviously support. Madeir, you can depth the unit, flip the bond face down, and been speaking a lot. Reveal topmost card your deck. Place it face down your bond area. Free bonds for everyone. Alright, yeah, Safi, she's alright, but not as an MC. She's a pretty bad MC. She doesn't even do anything special to help you out. I think D tier is good for her. Alright, Leafus. Alright. Cost 1. Flip the bond face down, and this unit cannot be destroyed. Alright, okay. The unit's attack. To the end of this combat, it can't be destroyed. So basically, if Leafus is screwed, flip a bond. He's free life. Basically invulnerability. This is much more powerful than you'd expect. But his 4-3, send a bond card to the street area. Your opponent flip the bond face down, and if they do not, you can use one of your bond cards and flip it face up. That's fine. Once per turn, flip 2 bonds face down and draw a card. Alright, yeah, so cost 1 Leafus. Having a jail-free card is alright, but 4-3 doesn't help him much. Doesn't help him that much. 70 attack, alright, but he doesn't have the skills to back it up. He's not middle of the road, he's just C tier. Okay, I think Reinhardt's better, because Reinhardt actually can be much better than Leafus can. Fergus. Alright, Fergus is probably one of my favorite meme MCs to run. Just me calling him a meme MC. You know where I tell the problem. Once you move by skill, till the end of the turn, you gain 10 attack. So, Fergus hopes for from Fire Emblem, which allows you to move any unit that you can, anywhere aside from units attacking. So if you have, say, a Kareen deployed to attack, you get Fire Emblem Misha, you move Fergus, and you get 10 attack. That's cool. Alright. Mercenaries capture art. He has 70 base attack at 3-2. Until the end of the turn, you lose 30 attacks. So you're back where you started. But if you manage to destroy an enemy, and this doesn't matter what enemy it is, you can draw a card if you use Mercenary Capture. Here's the problem. Enemies in the front line are going to have probably 40 attack or more. And if you get unlucky with your draws, if you get a Fergus instead of a Kareen, Fergus profits off flyers. But if you don't destroy an enemy, you just completely wasted your time, and you could have destroyed them. And for what? 1 card? Yeah, no, not great. D tier. Sure. Fergus, 70 attack. But he's nothing special. He's nothing special. And just, Beowulf, he can be good. Actually, I'm gonna put him up here, actually. I should move Beowulf back, really. He's not that great. Yeah, I'm having second thoughts on Beowulf. He's just 73 attack. Literally nothing special. Finn has Brave Lance, which is better than Beowulf, you say. Alright, Kareen. Alright, cost 1, Wing Deliver. Alright, yeah, this is just standard Kareen. Just standard flyer. You can also choose many yellows allies if you wish to move them around. And you can use a bond card. You can deploy it tapped. If you do, choose an ally and move them from your bond area. Yeah, Kareen doesn't have anything going for her. She goes to D tier. She suffers from the exact same problems the other 2 green-haired flyers do. That's not named Trevor. Because Trevor actually is pretty decent, really, if you manage to if you can get to 5-4. Makwa. Alright, we gotta go quick. This is taking way longer than I expected. Alright, if you attack this an enemy, choose an ally in the back line, move them. Alright, not great. 3-2. 5 more bond cards, 10 attack. 10 more bond cards, another 10 attack. Choose another ally to destroy an enemy, and that ally gains 20 until your next turn. Makua. what are the odds that we're gonna make it to 10 bond cards? So Passion for Restoration might as well be useless. Battle for the Fatherland, understandable. 3-2, 60 attack. Mako is nothing special. Honestly, nothing really going for her. I'll be honest. Asbel. Alright, Asbel. I love using Asbel. However, he's not that great as an MC. Alright, cost 1. 10 attack if you have Leaf Reset in Bond area. You have base 30, so if you have Leaf Reset in the bonds, base 40. Wind Disciple. Flip the bond face down. Whenever ally is deployed, the top card of your deck, place it face down in the bond area. 3 bonds. Alright, great. Graph Caliber. Flip the bond face down, you gain 20 extra attack. So that would be base 70. Alright. Asbel. Alright. You're basically flipping bonds. It is not a problem. Getting 70 attack, also not a problem. Having 1-2 range, that's great. That's great and all. You go behind Azel. Because Azel, just 6 bond cards in general, you get that. You need to flip bond. Asbel needs, actually, I think I'm gonna move these two. You can flip a bond, so you can get that extra, you can get the 70 quicker. But Azel, if you manage to survive that long, he can get them no matter what without flipping any sort of bonds. God damn it, I'm out of water. Alright. I'm gonna have to get some soon. Give up. Alright. Yeah, now it's happy. 10 attack. Okay, great. When you criticals, until the end of your opponent's next turn, you get 20 attack. Put 2 bonds, choose a Shiva, add to your hand. And this unit cannot evade. Explain how this is good. Flipping 2 bonds, gain a Shiva from the retreat area, and you can't evade. Sure, critical, 20 attack. 20 extra attack, so that's 90 base. Do critical. But getting a Shiva, but not being able to evade, this can screw you over big time. Sorry, Shiva. Next, Olin. I can't type. What in the world? Alright, Olin. Major Freeze. Alright, you can put it in bond, you can draw a card and send it to retreat. Alright, but this is basic. 30 base, not great. Alright, what about 3-2? Tone card, place bond area. You can get 20 attack. And you can send 1 yellow bond to the retreat area, choose 1 tone bond from the retreat area, and place it in a bond. So you can basically swap out bonds. Here's the fun part. Blue Mage Knight, 4-3. Put 2 bonds face down, choose up to 2 non-main character enemies whose attack is less than its units, and destroy them, which means anything less than 60. And you can flip an 0-1 bond card face down, gain 20 attack, and you can draw a card. Yeah, here's the problem. You won't evade. And you can only have at most 12 0-1s, because there are only 3 0-1 cards. Sorry, 0-1. D-tier for you. Alright, Marita, my favorite unit in FE5, and probably my favorite character in the series at the moment. Cost 1. 1 more sword bonds. Get 10 attack, no matter what. This is pretty cool. 3-2. You have 1 more other sword allies if you engage 10 attack. That's also pretty cool. So, Marita needs swords. You know, if this is put in a bond, you can put the face down, choose an enemy. A card supporting it, lose Miracle Emblem. You cannot reacquire it. So, basically, you can critical hit. And that's when 4-3 comes in. Critical Luna. This is one of my favorite. It's some of my favorite things to do in the series. Some of my favorite things to do in general, really. When you critical the main character, you can choose a non-main character enemy and destroy them. And Astra, flip 2 bonds face down. Units attack with critical Luna destroys enemy. You can flip those 2 bonds face down and untap this unit. Alright. Critical Luna is fun. I love Critical Luna. Hard Art Astra takes a bit more work to get though. You have to flip 2 bonds. Alright. Marita. I'm gonna put you in C tier. I think above then. Alright. Shannon does her job better. I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about Shannon when I get to him. He's probably my favorite MC in history. Yeah, he gives Ocean a run for run. Just in general, I love Shannon. As a unit, as a character, as a card. I lied about Ocean being my favorite, I forgot about Shannon. Ocean's second though. Yeah, we know Tina's problem. Thief Abducted Cleric. Flip a bond face down to the card from your opponent's hand, reveal it, and if the card's deployment is 1 or 0, send that card to the opponent's review area. This can work. However, he has 20 base, and he would be your MC. This is a problem. Even when promoted to 4-3, 50. Thief. Choose 1 card from your opponent's hand, and reveal it. If that card's opponent costs 3 or lower, draw a card. You don't even send it to retreat area. Unlock. Reveal topmost card of your opponent's deck. If that card's 3 or lower, or 3 or higher, draw a card. This is also a problem. Unlock worse than Thief in general. And I can't wait. Flip the bond face down. If you use an axe skill, you can untap issues with bond face down. Tina is all support. I think we all know this. Tina's a lot better than Safi though. Safi just doesn't have anything going for her. Tina also sucks as an MC, but she's a bit better than her sister. Dean. Tap this unit, flip the bond face down. It's literally the exact same as he does. If this unit's being attacked by a non-bow, you get 20 extra attack. Alright, great. That's nice. In bond area, choose an ally with both Flare and Dragon, and that ally gets 30 attack. Alright, Dean's already better than Ida. Even with 4-3. Gonna put him in C tier, actually. Getting 20 extra attack when being attacked by a non-bow, that's great. That's pretty cool. And his bond skill is actually really good as well to help out like Altena or Travant. Cool. It's fine. Sarah. Alright. Again, we know the problem with Sarah. So she starts with 30. Card acquires Tome, 1-2 range. Special. So. Alright. Basically, she doesn't even have this problem at all. If you have 2 more face down bond cards, you gain 10 attack. Alright, so Sarah's already better as an MC than any other stat user, because she has Tome from the start, even with 30 base. So she's basically a mage. Without her 3-2. At the beginning of your action phase, you can choose 1 tapped ally and untap them. So if you have an ally tapped, or just one that cannot be untapped at the start of turn, you can use the Kaya staff, no matter what. And you can send 3 of your bond cards to the retreat area and draw 2 cards. Alright, Sarah. You still get D tier. Here's my reasoning. The Dark Bishop's granddaughter is a skill that should not be used unless you're at the end of the game. And at that point, you don't even need Sarah. At that point, you're busy surviving. Sarah, sure, she's basically a Tome MC, but if you want a Tome MC, use an actual Tome MC. They are more suited towards playstyle necessary. Alright, Misha. Cost 1. Flying Mercenary. Being supported by Flyer, gain 10 attack. Not that great. She's mostly support, and again, she's a Flyer. What about 4-3? Then if a Flyer ally's attack, you may move an ally. That's alright. That's pretty decent. And you can put 2 Flyer bonds, untap the unit, and gain 1-2 range. This is alright. It's definitely better than the other Flyers, really. But she's not much better because she's a Flyer. The Flyers are not really meant to be MCs. Alright. Dumbweed. Cost 1. Steel Sword. Flip bond face down, you get 10 attack. Not great. Alright, what about Charming Knight? 4 more bond cards. In general, you get an extra attack. So base 80 if you have 4 more. Alright, Vantage Edge. 7 or more. You also gain 10 attack during your opponent's turn. Alright. And if you have 10 or more bond cards, all of our allies gain 10 attack. Yeah, like I've said during mock list, the idea of getting 10 bonds just doesn't really work. I think just because you can get 7 pretty easily, and that's like 10 extra attack. That's alright. Definitely put him like above Makua. I don't think he really deserves much more. The Armory's okay. Nothing special, really. Alright. Lana. Alright, she has the exact same problem. If this unit's being attacked by a bow though, she gets 20 extra attack. It's pretty cool. Alright, but what about Loving Saint? Reveal topmost card of your deck, place that in the bond area, and you send or face up bond card to the retreat area. This can work, but it's not that great. Alright, what about a bond scroll? Let 3 bonds face down, and you can choose a 1 non-Lana card from your retreat area and add to your hand. No. If you want this, deploy like a Sappy or something. It's any healer. You can put 2 bonds down and get that. Instead of putting 3 bonds down just by putting them in the bond area. That doesn't really help. What about Tyranny Defying? I like this card's alright. Literally, it does that. It does exactly what the other one does. Power upon the powerless, once per turn. Alright, there are 1 more allies with 80 or higher attack. The cost is reduced by 1 bond face down. Lana works against deck specifically made against 80 base attack, and see, it's like Zephyl. Lana can help you there, but she is not an MC. She's not MC worthy. D tier. C. Alright, we're getting into the final stretch, hopefully. Alright, she has 2 cards. Alright, Wing Deliver, literally the exact same as every other flyer, with the exact same problems. Alright, you can flip bond face down and get 1/2 rings. Alright, you can put her in bonds and deploy her, but only if you're 4. Alright, honestly, not too great. She has nothing special at all going for her. Alright, Arthur. I like Arthur. Like, he's alright. But he requires flyers to help him. So, you can tap a flyer and gain 20 attack. Alright, not bad. Not bad at all. I think that's pretty cool. With a 3-2, you have critical hits, then if your attack cannot be evaded by non-main character Tomans. And you put this card in the bond area, send a card from your hand to retreat area and draw a card. 2-2 is basically just getting to 4-3. What about 4-3 though? Send a card from your hand to the retreat area. Until the end of the turn, the number of orbs this unit attack will destroy becomes 2. And you can choose a flyer ally, and that ally gains 20 attack. Arthur is the best of the 3 mages. And he has a lot going for him, really. I think D tier might work for him. Not as good as Tail Tour's Tar, because he requires flyers to really work. But honestly, just sending a card from your hand to retreat area is not bad at all. Honestly, pretty good, really. Arthur, I haven't really seen Arthur be used, but I would definitely give it a try. See how well it works. It holds up to what I think it does. Let's see. Alright, Jan. Yeah, we have a problem. And, alright. Yeah, you know exactly what that problem is. Because he requires Jan to get extra attack. He gives Tristan 10 attack, and Tristan is not an MC. Jan as an MC, she already struggles. What about 3-2? Alright, so you get 60 attack, sure. You can choose a face-up bond card and add to your hand. Not great. Come a card placed in your bond area, you can move a beast ally. Alright, this is actually this is decent. But I wouldn't say that it's much better than Sarah's. Not by much, at least. It's not as good as the Thesis. In fact, she just struggles overall, honestly. There are much better MCs that you could choose. Actually, I think I'll put her better than most Flyers, because Flyers have a huge weakness. It takes like 2 turns to get. And even then, she can hold her own. Even better than Nana, actually. Alright, let's talk about Shannon, how good he is. Alright. Liberator of Tyranny. Reveal top 2 cards of your deck, and you get 10 attack for each revealed sword card. So if you have a lot of swords, raises attack. 3-2. I don't really like giving him this, because it's mostly for bonds. Not really that helpful, though. It's also helpful for evades. 4th, it's not really necessary. It's a bond card, it's not really good. Alright. 4-3 is where it's at. Flip 2 bonds face down. Send your entire hand to the retreat area, and for each card sent to the retreat area by the skill's effect, creates Shannon from there and add to your hand. For Sacred Azaki and Technique, you can send a Shannon from your hand to the retreat area, and give an sword ally 40 attack. Yeah, you know what I was thinking about Ulster? Yeah, it's this skill. And Critical Astra. When its critical hit is evaded, you can untap the unit. Shannon is a god when there are no orbs left. Because he can keep criticalling until the enemy runs out of evades. This is especially helpful with Divine Blade Balm. A tier. Alright. Patty. I have heard a lot of people do not like Patty as an MC because she is just really good. Isn't Thief. Bond card. Flip bond face down. If it's card placed there, you can pay a cost and reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. And it's literally the exact same as like Daisy. It's like Tina's. But 3-2 is where it is. Tap this unit, flip the bond face down. Alright, you can do this in the following orders until one of you. Resolve the following effects until one fails. Reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. If that card is 3 or higher, draw a card. Keep one face down orbs, reveal it. If that orb has its opponent cost 3 or higher, destroy it. If you want a card in your opponent's hand without looking, it's a retreat area. That are the same name as your opponent's main character, destroy that main character. And you can flip bond face down and get 20 attacks on the next turn. Patty is not as good as people say she is. Here's why. Most decks will try to avoid having 3 or higher AAA costs. When possible. So there is very likely that work will fail pretty quickly. If you get lucky and it manages to succeed, it can be devastating though. I think she belongs in C tier just for this, higher than Beowulf and Fergus, even Lethus. She's not as good as people say she is. She requires a lot of luck, and she's mostly for fun. It's like the same thing as Joshua. Joshua is like something that the casuals will use for fun because it doesn't really work in professional games. In fact, hold on, let me check something. Oh crap, right. Whatever, I'll check it, but I believe that he might even be banned, just because it's not fun. Alright, Kind. Her one cost is mostly bondage, and it gives another tome ally extra attack. But for 3-2, you get critical hits, it's basically the exact same as Tail 2. Except kind of worse. Once card is placed in the bond area, you can flip one face down and draw a card. Tyne is a worse Tail 2. I'm sorry, Tyne. But like, just in general, she's a worse Tail 2. She just struggles overall. Alright. For Bale, for Vol, whatever you recall him. Cost 1, he's an archer. Yeah, you see the problem. You can draw a card by flipping a bond face down if you destroy an enemy with one that costs 1. And at the end of combat, you can move an attacking unit if you happen as a support. 3-2. You flip 2 yellow bonds face down, untap. Yeah. As an MC, he doesn't really work, because he is a bow unit. I think that's really the biggest flaw, really. And 50 base attack. Not great. Alright. Said. Hero Celeste. That would be his... That's his cost 1. All about bondage. But you choose an ally with the point cost of 2 or lower and give that ally 10 attack. If he's bonded. Alright, what about 3-2? Tap 2 flyer allies and draw a card. And with flyers deployed, this card gains 10 attack. So, just like Arthur, this is all about flyers. Wind Crusader said, flip a bond face down. This unit gains 10 attack and all allies gain flyer. This is a problem. This is bad. Because anti-flyer. Anti-flyers can screw everybody over. And all allies gain flyer, including said. But, tap a flyer ally, choose a non-main character enemy, and that enemy cannot evade. This is a problem, though. But Wind of Freedom and Liberation is better. Alright. This unit destroys an enemy, you can choose an ally and move them. And you can choose a flyer ally, once per turn. Until the end of the turn, non-main character enemy is only able to avoid that ally's attack. Said, honestly, it's not that bad. But you cannot use Wind Crusader. Wind Crusader will screw you over hard. I think C tier is fine for him. Wind of Freedom and Liberation, similar to Arthur, except slightly worse. Basically, he runs off of flyers. Right. Corporal. Yeah, he's a staff unit. Who would have guessed? But 3-2. Can flip 3 bonds face down and gain 10 attack. I'm just gonna say this. Exact same problem. Alright, Julius. I've never seen a Julius deck work. I'm sorry. I have never seen it. It's cost 1. You can send a bond card to the retreat area and move an enemy character. Yeah, it kills bonds. That's the problem. Flip 3 bonds face down, choose an opponent's one bond card. Send it to retreat area, they add a new bond. But, you gain plus 10 attack per face down bond. Alright, you can already see something. This Julius is the worst Ishtar. What about 5-4? It's like the exact same thing, except it's flip 1, and they don't even add a new bond. And if all your bonds are face down, this card gains 1. It's the worst Ishtar! It's the worst Ishtar! There's no reason to have Julius. To put him in D tier. There's no point in having Julius. He's more destructive to you. Ishtar is much better than him. They do the exact same job, too. Wait, they're the exact same thing as Carlot. Here he goes down here. Alright, Noise and Alec. His cost 1 depends on Alec to do much damage. Seeks, and the same thing's 3-2. If Noise is being supported by Alec, you move one enemy in back line, and you get 30 attack. Noise, gain 30 attack. Or cost 1. Noise, and I believe Alec is the exact same. Yes? Except your opponent cannot critical hit. Yeah, Noise and Alec depend on each other to actually do anything. Alec is slightly better because just being your opponent main character not being able to critical, much better than Noise. And Noise moving one ally in the back line. No. In fact, I think D tier. I think they deserve D tier. They're bad. They're not that great. Noise and Alec struggle. Alright, Do. That is not Do. Hold on. Alright, cost 1. When students attack the chosen enemy, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sends it to the retreat area. This would be fine if you didn't have 30 base attack. Alright, what about its 3-2? This unit can gain 10 attack by flipping a bond face down. That's fine. And by putting him in a bond, you choose a sword ally, and that ally gains 10 attack. Alright, Do is all about support, really. Honest, Do just He's support, really. I mean, he's an okay MC, I guess. He's better than these two. But definitely nothing special. Era. I know there are white Eras. There are colorless Eras, but maybe talk about just yellow Era. Each time this unit's untapped, then this unit gains 20 attack until the end of your turn. Cost 1. But there are very few times in which this unit will be untapped. Alright. 3-2. Flip 3 bonds face down and that's terrible! You untap by flipping down 3 bond cards. This will only be good if you're in like late game and you don't need bonds. Here's the best part. Astra. Flip an A-Rup bond card face down. This is fine. You have 16 eras, but this is fine. This will work. You can untap if your attack is evaded. And if this unit's attack is evaded, it destroys an enemy, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and for every era, you can destroy a non-main character enemy. Alright, Era is actually a fine MC. He's not amazing or anything like that. Like, nothing too great. I think around here seems good. In fact, yeah. Era and Lucy are very similar. Alright, we're in the last stretch, people. Bear with me. This was I understand that you're probably bored. There's not much point in you watching this. Probably gonna skip to the end. Kulin is a meme. If you're in combat with your opponent's main character, they gain an attack, and they can only attack the main character. Alright, what about 3-2 Wheeler Luna? Flip 2 on face down. If you attack the main character, you can pick one enemy with the 1 cost of 3 or lower and destroy them. And if this is the only unit in the front line, you gain 10 attack. Alright, this is fine. That's not too bad. What about Valiant Moonlight Shrouded Leader? Flip on face down until the end of turn, get 20 attack. Alright, this is decent. And for bonds, choose a sword ally, and that ally gains 20 attack by flipping this card face down. Kulin, this can be pretty good. Alright, Kulin cost 1 is a meme. 3-2, it's actually alright. Honestly, nothing too bad, really. I always thought he was a meme, but I've been proven wrong. He's actually decent. He's not as good as, he's not like this tier. He's decent. Nothing awful, nothing amazing, really. Lewin. Lewin has a 0-0, which can be really, really good. But let's talk about his cost 1. Flip a bond face down, you can move them. Now I cards flyer. Alright, yeah, no, that's not very hopeful. 3-2. He's got 50 base, which is alright. And if it's destroyed by an enemy deck, you can choose a Lewin bond card and add to your hand. I don't understand why you'd be adding Lewins anyways, if you have a Lewin MC. But this bond, well, I guess you can put the bond card face down. All flyers gain 10 attack. So, alright. What have we learned so far? Lewin is just like Zed, except worse than Zed. Alright. Class change. During your turn, just your turn, all allies gain flyer. This is already better than Zed. All flyer allies get Winged Deliverer. And for every other flyer ally on your turn, this unit gains 10 attack. That by itself, Lewin gets C tier. Alright. His cost 1 is 3-2. Are not anything special. But his 4-3 can be absolutely incredible if you put a bunch of units on the field. And the best part is, it's just during your turn, so you don't have to worry. You don't really have to worry about anything, really. Alright, so Bridget. There's a Bridget. I'm actually dumb. Not Bridget. I'm a moron. So I screwed up. Of course I did. There's apparently a Bridget, but I'm not finding it. Oh wait. Yeah, it is Bridget. Alright. I'm stupid. Okay. Steel Bow. This is very similar to football already. Except you can flip. Alright. You can flip a bond face down. You play a cost for flipping bond face down, choosing one card with a deployment cost of 1 from your tree, add it to your hand, but you have to have a Bridget bond. Okay, Bridget, not that great. You have 8 Bridgets in total. And you need those bonds. There's no point in putting her bond down. So she's like completely pointless. Alright, we're near the end. This is actually a pretty decent place to end. What's not decent is that I'm somehow managed to forget who this unit is too. Alright. There's also Ditorba, Camilla, but they're not NCs. Alright. Who is this? It's Manya. Alright, Manya. They have 2 or more of her flyer allies. This unit gains an attack. Which... Alright. What's the promotion? You can tap 2 flyers, choose an enemy in the backline, and you can move the unit if they're tapped. That's everything. That's all she has. All she has. Okay, you go with the rest of your flyer friends. And we are in the last 2. Finally! It's been like 2 hours. So sorry. I did not mean for it to last this long. Guess talking about Cipher does that to you, I guess. Harvest. Okay. Cost 1. Send a bond card to a retreat area and you can move an enemy. Alright, not great. Next is 4-3. Choose an orb, reveal it, place in your bond area. Alright. You can draw a card by flipping a bond face down, but you'll have to have 6 or more bonds. And you can also flip a bond face down. Choose non-main character enemy, destroy them, but you have to have 8 or more bond cards. Alright, here's the problem. His first skill. You destroy orbs for bonds, which is not worth it, ever. Alright, now there are 3 5/4s I'm going to talk about, each one of them. Alright, 5/4, Twilight of Ideals. Choose a card from your hand, reveal it, and place it in your bond area. If you do, you have to swap out a bond. This is decent. And until the end of the turn, by flipping a bond card down, you get 30 attack. So, if you flip a bond, you get 90 attack. Which isn't that bad. About Emperor of Granville. Alright. Tap this unit and flip 4 bonds face down. You destroy all non-main character units. Other cards do this better. And for bonds, you can flip 2 bonds face down. Face down, choose a non-main character enemy, and place them in your opponent's bond area. This actually can be a decent bond skill, but you should really use Emperor Granville for bonds, especially if you're like against an enemy that has a particularly annoying non-main character like Zephyl. You can put that Zephyl in the bond area, and that's actually pretty hilarious, I'm sure. And then there's Inheritor of Holy Flame. Flip 3 bonds face down, send Aries from your hand to the retreat area. You can just... Alright, choose 1 non-main character enemy and destroy them. Your opponent chooses 5 bond cards and send the rest to the main area, to the retreat area. No! There was 1 card, I believe it was Reinhardt? I'm gonna have to double check that. Where the enemy chooses just 5 cards from their hand. Yeah, no, this doesn't work. And here's what. Most bond cards, you shouldn't have much more than 5. There's no purpose. There's no purpose in this. I'm checking through my card list right now. It's not any of the cards that I've kept so far. But honestly, it doesn't matter. There was a card that does this better. Arbus is still pretty good, though. Nothing amazing. C-tier. And last, but most certainly not least, we have Arden. Cost 1. Non-tome, 20 attack. 20 attack when 3 attack by non-tome. Alright, this is pretty decent. Alright, 3-2. Same thing, 20 attack from being attacked by a non-tome. And during your turn, gains plus 20 attack. However, you cannot move it. This card cannot be moved during your turn. What I find funny, sturdy, strong, slow, ardent meme. Alright, and 4-3. And this unit attacks. This unit's attack the pro to opponent main character. Untap this unit. Put one bomb face down, and when this unit's attacking, you can get 20 attack. And you get 20 attack when being attacked by an on-tone. Right. Arden, we know him as a meme, but he's genuine. But once you get the 4-3, he's genuinely a good card. He's a good MC. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I think this is good for him. And with that, we have made a list of MCs. Alright, thanks for watching. Apologies for this being so long. For more Cipher content, don't watch me. I don't really make Cipher content. I'd recommend take to Zelfie's channel. Zelfie got about 100 subscribers. But in the meantime, see you guys next time. Bye.